Welcome back. As you know, I am Eli, the computer guy, here for your daily dose of the roars as I scream about the very stupid stuff going on in the world of YouTube so I can earn some money to support silicondojo.com. Free in-person classes in Durham, North Carolina. We have a class coming up on AI computer vision using the Moondream model. Next week, we're going to have a class coming up pushing AI to the edge with Raspberry Pi coming up in a couple of weeks. Take a look at silicondojo.com to see what our current schedule is. And if you're interested in supporting free classes, there is a donor box link down below. And oh my golly, I'm getting some PTSD flashbacks right now. I'm getting some serious PTSD flashbacks from the day when Sun Microsystems decided that they were going to be the protectors of the open source world. And then they failed. And then they got bought by Oracle. Yeah, that's right. There's a company called Sun Microsystems back in the day, and they started floundering, right? They had come out with these Solaris workstations. They were a really good company all the way up until they weren't. They were trying to figure out how to save themselves. They were trying to pivot. So they decided they were going to become the stewards of the open source world. They went out there, they bought MySQL, which was a database system. They bought OpenOffice. They bought a whole bunch of other open source projects. The idea is, again, they would become like the big corporation that cared about open source. The problem is they failed. The problem is they failed. And then all of a sudden, one company owned a lot of these open source projects, and then Oracle came in. You know Oracle? Yeah, Oracle. Oracle came in and bought Sun Microsystems. And so all of a sudden, Oracle owned all of these open source projects, and that has been fun. That has been fun ever since. So I think this is kind of interesting with Anthropic. So one of the big questions that's been coming out there was we start looking at vibe coding. One of the big problems with vibe coding is the infrastructure that you're going to be deploying your code into. Right, so a lot of people think about vibe coding, and maybe they think about the front end or the back end. Maybe they think about the framework, whether you got to use React or Flutter for the front end or whatever else. But one of the big questions is basically what is the infrastructure your systems are going to be going into, and that's a big problem for a lot of this vibe coding software out there. Right, it doesn't know if you're going to be deploying into Postgres or MySQL or MongoDB or one of the other 5,000 fucking database engines that are out there right now. There's a lot of other technologies that are available. And so one of the big problems for these vibe coding platforms is just figuring out kind of what is the vibe coding stack. And when I say this, I'm not being snarky and mean, but there is a question there. There will be a system that becomes the most efficient way to develop products using vibe coding. Like if you think about this, like with JavaScript, I remember when JavaScript was basically about dead, right? Nobody really cared about JavaScript anymore. To call it a front end language, whatever, right? It created little dynamic interfaces for your web app. That was about it. But then a lot of people knew JavaScript. JavaScript started getting extended. Right, Facebook puts out React. So React is a JavaScript framework for creating front ends. They come out with React Native, which is a framework for creating apps, iOS, Android apps, that type of thing. Other people come out with Node.js. So Node.js is now a back-end framework to be able to use JavaScript. And so now all of a sudden, right, somebody can learn JavaScript, and now they can do everything from doing on hover image changing on your web page, all the way to building full-fledged user interfaces and being able to do back-end stuff and the whole 9 yards. And basically there's become like this JavaScript stack, right? And just kind of that's how it goes. So one of the interesting things to be thinking about in the vibe coding world is basically what should the vibe coding stack look like? A big thing to consider, right, as a technology professional is most of the projects you're going to be creating basically look about the same at this point in time. Now there's some people out there, real software engineers. Real software engineers are on the cutting edge building the future. You're probably not that. You're probably not that. You're probably creating a front-end interface that connects with a record store and a data store, maybe communicates with some APIs and outputs some shit on the screen so the user knows what to do next, right? If a CRM solution looks a hell of a lot like a messaging solution on the back end, looks a hell of a lot like a whole bunch of different things, right? You've got the front end, you've got some kind of compute stuff that happens, you've got record stores, you've got data stores, you've got external communication, right? There's a lot of ways to solve any particular problem. And so what's curious then is, again, the whole idea of what will the vibe coding stack look like. And now what becomes really interesting, why I bring up Sun Microsystems, and then why I bring up Oracle, is what happens when you have companies that have billions and billions and billions, or possibly trillions of dollars at this point in time, and they can go out now and they can just buy stacks. They can just buy stacks. And what does this look like to us as technology professionals, right? So many of the products that we have in 2025 have been developed over the past 20 years. Many of them have been developed with this whole kind of open source mindset. Anybody can go out and they can take any of these products and they can just start using them. But a lot of those products are developed by companies, right? Startup companies. And a lot of those startup companies really need to figure out a way to exit. What happens when their exit becomes being bought by AI companies, right? The worst of humanity. Do remember, artificial intelligence companies in the modern world are literally being run by the worst of us, right? So what happens when the worst of us, who have their trillions of dollars, start buying things like open source projects in order to make their AI systems more viable, right? You don't want to use our AI vibe coding system? Well, I guess you don't get our JavaScript engine. Wait, what? When did it become your JavaScript engine? So anyways, this is coming from Anthropic, and God bless all the AI companies. They're so proud of it. They're so proud of their evil. They scream it from the mountaintops. I can go to Anthropic's website and read about it. Anthropic acquires Bun as Claude Code reaches the $1 billion milestone, right? So Bun apparently has become very popular. I have not used a lot of Bun, but I've heard good things about Bun. Claude is the world's smartest and most capable AI model for developers, startups, and enterprises. Claude Code represents a new era of agentic coding, fundamentally changing how teams build software. In November, Claude Code achieved a significant milestone. Just 6 months after becoming available to the public, it reached $1 billion in run rate revenue. And you'll notice they're fucking around with all these words. Run rate revenue is now the metric for the AI world, because it's a different metric that makes them look good. Anyways, and today we're announcing that Anthropic is acquiring Bun, a breakthrough JavaScript runtime to further accelerate Claude Code. Bun is redefining speed and performance for modern software engineering and development. Founded by Jared Sumner in 2021, Bun is dramatically faster than the leading competition as an all-in-one toolkit combining runtime, package manager, bundler, and test runner. It's become essential infrastructure for AI-led software engineering, helping developers build and test applications at unprecedented velocity. So think about what they're literally saying right here. It's become essential infrastructure for AI-led software engineering, and we're buying it. Or no, we bought it, and it's ours. Right? Because like that's one of the things with all this AI stuff is like how many people want to use AI. Again, and I'm not anti-AI. LLMs are fine. They're just not worth $1.4 trillion in CapEx expenses. but these companies, right? Meta, Facebook, Meta, Microsoft. There's other companies right now where their engineers, real actual engineers, are not using AI to the extent the company wants them to use AI, and therefore they're forcing their employees to use artificial intelligence to prove that there's some kind of value there. Right? They're not forcing their employees to improve efficiency by 10%. They're not forcing employees to reduce the time it takes to audit code by 25%. Right? They're not looking for actual problems and solutions or problems and metrics. What are they doing? They're simply forcing their employees to use AI. The most important thing is not more widgets sold or whatever else. The most important thing is that you used AI to sell a widget. So what happens in this environment when AI companies start buying, quote, essential infrastructure being used, to build out AI projects, and then they now own it? Oh, Bun may be open source. Hey, we've got the Bun Community Edition. Yeah, this is one of the things that happens in the open source world. We've got the Bun Community Edition, and then we have the Bun Anthropic Edition. I mean, I guess you can use the Community Edition, but don't you want to use the good edition? Right? At this point, is it really about developers wanting to use AI, or is it about basically AI companies monopolizing fucking essential infrastructure required to code? Bun has improved the JavaScript and TypeScript developer experience by optimizing for reliability, speed, and delight. For those using Claude Code, this acquisition means faster performance, improved stability, and new capabilities. Together, we'll keep making Bun the best JavaScript runtime for all developers while building even better workflows into Claude Code. And so that's the thing to be thinking about this too, right? If Bun is its own company, then Bun wants to kiss ass to Anthropic, and Bun wants to kiss ass to OpenAI, and Bun wants to kiss ass to Mistral or whatever else. Right now, if Bun is owned by Anthropic, anybody's going to be able to use it, but it's going to be optimized for Anthropic. As developers increasingly build with AI, the underlying infrastructure matters more than ever. Yes, absolutely. And Bun has emerged as an essential tool. Think about how often they're saying fucking essential tool. They're saying the monopoly part out loud. Bun gets more than 7 million monthly downloads, has earned over 82,000 stars on GitHub, and has been adopted by companies like Midjourney and Lovable to increase speed and productivity. The decision to acquire Bun is in line with our strategic discipline approach to acquisitions. We will continue to pursue opportunities that bolster our technical excellence, reinforce our strength as the leader in enterprise AI, and most importantly, align with our principles and mission. Again, reinforce our strength as the leader in enterprise AI. If we start buying the essential components for being able to vibe code, that does in fact reinforce your strength. Bun will be instrumental in helping us build the infrastructure for the next generation of software. Together, we will continue to make Claude the platform of choice for coders and anyone who relies on AI for important work. Bun will remain open source and MIT licensed, and we will continue to invest in making it the runtime bundler, package manager, and test runner of choice for JavaScript and TypeScript developers. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. Been in this field for a couple of decades. We'll see exactly how long that promise lasts for. And so with this, I don't know with Anthropic. Again, don't get me wrong. There are people I have opinions about in the AI world. Again, Sam Altman. Don't like Sam Altman too much. Anyways, as far as Anthropic is concerned, I don't know how snarky to be about Anthropic. Claude Code is supposed to be good. I've heard very little snarky things about Claude Code. Apparently, lately, it hasn't been as good as it was. Whatever. But Anthropic is Anthropic. But the bigger concern here is that with these companies that have so much money, what happens when they start buying the fundamental components, the essential components for modern development? Things that you just don't really think about. Like back in the day with OpenOffice, right? You knew OpenOffice was a company, right? You knew that they had to pay the bills somehow, but it's also just an open source project they use. You don't think that Oracle could buy it. Right, MySQL, again, because back in the, now it's 2025, but remember 20 plus years ago, MySQL, right, that was a competitor to Oracle, right? Hey, look, we have this amazing open source competitor to Oracle. This is wonderful. And then Oracle bought it, and it's been curious ever since, right? And so it becomes interesting here, right? As you look at these people, and again, the important thing you have to understand with a lot of this is this AI paradigm doesn't make sense. Right? LLMs are fine, AI is fine, but $1.4 trillion in CapEx expenses is fucking stupid, right? Wanting to put all data centers in orbit in like the next 10 years. I've been doing these videos. Everybody wants to put data centers in orbit for some reason. Sam Altman, Pichai, NVIDIA is talking about it, Jeff Bezos is talking about it. Everybody's like, let's put fucking data centers in orbit. What? Doesn't... Like none of, like, just from a practical standpoint, this isn't visionary. This is fucking stupid. This is the shit you sell to people that don't understand the world of technology in order to get them to buy more stock in artificial intelligence. right? And so what we've seen is this continual push in the AI world to prop up the fraud that makes AI seem like the most powerful thing since fucking nuclear energy, right? And it's all going to fail on the face of it. It cannot stand on its own weight. So what happens when AI data center, right? That whatever fever dream starts failing, as it will, right? These companies, these founders are going to have to grab onto something, anything that actually proves that they have anywhere near the valuations that they've been pushed to, right? OpenAI, $500 billion. Anthropic, is it $230 billion now? XAI, over $200 billion, right? They need to cling to fucking anything that might prove their already abjectly idiotic valuations. So what happens with these jackasses when they have all of this money and they start going out on a shopping spree? They start going on a shopping spree for all of these products and all these services many of us have just fucking assumed exist at this point in time, and they start buying that shit up. And now all of a sudden, it's not simply, vibe coding is the future. It's, if you want to be able to use all of these products that you've been using for the past decade, you're gonna have to pay us $20 subscription. I think $20 is a little cheap for everything that we're offering. Maybe now we can jack it up to $100 a month. So yeah, it'll be curious. No, it's not. It's not gonna be curious. It's gonna be fucking depressing as hell. You and I know it's going to be depressing as hell. This era of technology is just soul. This is not soul sucking because AI is gonna take our jobs. This is soul sucking because these AI founders are so fucking syphilitic and have so much fucking brain rot. They literally do not care what they destroy as long as, I don't know, they win the fucking booby prize or whatever else. So yeah, yay, tech in 2025. Hey, but SQLite, I like SQLite. Bottle web app framework. Ooh, I love me some Bottle web app framework. Anywho, what do you think about this? What do you think about Anthropic buying Bun? Right? The JavaScript runtime and all that. What do you think about all these limits? What do you think about all these limits? Right? When one company does it, every motherfucker does it. So if Anthropic just bought Bun, what shit show do you think this domino falling over is going to create? How many of the open source projects that you use do you kind of know, like in the back of your head? I mean, you know there's a company behind these projects that support it, but you never really thought too much about, they actually at the end of the day really do own the intellectual property. They actually understand, like, this shit could go behind a paywall. I don't know. Put your thoughts down below. If you like these videos, give us a thumbs up. If you hate these videos, give us a thumbs down. Do you remember I do these videos in order to support Silicon Dojo, free hands-on technology education in Durham, North Carolina. We have a class coming up on Moondream, AI computer vision model. That's coming up next week. We're going to have a class on pushing AI to the edge using Raspberry Pis in a couple of weeks. Take a look at silicondojo.com to see what our schedule is. If you want to support these free classes, there is a donor box link down below. And with that, see y'all later.